2017 Ordinary Level Technical Graphics, question 2, which is looking at the ellipse. The graphic shows the design for an Angry Bird character. The design is based on circles and an ellipse as shown. The curve ABCD is an ellipse. AC is the major axis of the ellipse and is 160 mm long. OD is half the minor axis and is 60 mm long. Draw the given ellipse and complete the design showing clearly all constructions. Now choose your own dimension for the pupils of the eyes. So just something to watch out for this. We're given the length of the major axis, which is 160, but the length of half the minor, so it's not the full length of the minor, half the minor is 60. So just something to watch out for. Starting this question, I'm going to set up in the middle of the page, and I'm going to draw my position for my major and my minor axis. So we're told that the major axis is 160 mm long, so it's 80 mm either side of the axis. And the minor axis, half of that is 60 mm long, so the full length of the minor axis is 120, 60 above, 60 below the major. So when I have those two marked, I can draw my circles, the major auxiliary circle and the minor auxiliary circle. This is the major. Minor will have a radius of 60. That's the minor auxiliary circle. I'm using the auxiliary circles method to divide up to draw my ellipse. So to do this, I'm going to divide this shape up with my 60-30 degree set square. So light lines through the center and make sure they cut both the major and the minor auxiliary circle. Now with this, each time one of our lines cuts either the major or the major axis, we're going to go perpendicular to the major axis. When we cut the minor, we're going to go perpendicular to the minor axis. Slightly. So if we take this line here first, this cuts the major auxiliary circle at this point. So from here, I'm going to go perpendicular to the major axis. Cuts the minor auxiliary circle at this point, so I'll go perpendicular to the minor axis. That's here. It's this point. For this line, it cuts the major auxiliary circle there, so perpendicular to the major axis is this way. Perpendicular to the minor axis, as it cuts this circle, will be a horizontal line. So that gives me 2 points on the curve. The end of the minor axis is another point, and the end of the major is another point. So I can have curve there. So I'm going to continue drawing the rest of the curve first. So this line cuts the major auxiliary circle, so perpendicular to the major axis. This cuts the minor auxiliary circle, same line, give me a point here. Perpendicular to the minor, perpendicular to the major. End of the major axis is a point on the curve. So continuing on doing this, working our way around. And this will give us all the points that we need to draw the parabola. So again, this point here, which is point B in the question, is a point on the curve. So what we're going to do now is we're going to draw the best curve that we can, lightly joining each of these points. So this just takes practice. So that gives us our ellipse shape there, and then we can darken that in. Okay, so once we have our ellipse drawn, the rest of it is looking at a few other bits. So we're going to draw the eyes next. So the eyes have radius 20, as given in the question, and we're told that they touch off the center point. So the two eyes touch off each other here, which means they're points in circumference, so 20 millimeters from this point either side gives us the center of the eyes. And again, we'll draw them lightly to start off with, because parts of them are hidden underneath the eyebrows. So 2 eyes drawn there. Next, what we're going to put in are the, just locate the circles into quadrants. So just draw 2 vertical lines through the center of the eyes. We'll need them in a moment. And I'm now going to draw the mouth piece down here. So that's the radius 60. So radius 60 is half the major axis. Minor axis. I'm just going to use that to set this up. And so this is set to 60 millimeters. Put it onto the bottom point down here. So if the minor axis was extended until it touched the major auxiliary circle, that will give me the curve down here. So again, draw this lightly to start off with. So the mouth is what I'm going to put in next. So if we look at the question again quickly, so point A joins to the bottom of the eye, and that forms the beak. So point A, this point off over here, joins through the bottom of the eye, and that forms the beak. Same on the opposite side. So our beak runs from the bottom of the eye back to here. And then the bottom part of the beak is 15 millimeters below the bottom of the eye. So just giving myself a line to measure down from. That's 15 millimeters here, and that again joins to the bottom of the eye. So that gives me the beak joining to the bottom of the eye. So there's the beak. We can darken in the piece of our radius 60 curve now. And that almost completes the mouth. So that's the mouth area done. Next part is, so the eyes, they can be darkened in, and we just need to now finish the eyebrows up here up on top. So for the eyebrows, if we again look at the question, they form a box that's the full width of the eyes. So there's a vertical, so from the left hand eye, vertically up from the left side of it is the edge of the eyebrow, and it is 30 millimeters up for the bottom point and 10 millimeters above that for the other one. So what I'm going to do from the left and right hand side of the eye, I'm just going to draw 2 vertical lines. So that's the widest part of the eyebrow. 30 millimeters up above that will give me the lower point, and 10 millimeters above that gives me the upper point of the eyebrow. So I have this piece here, left and right. Finally, the eyebrow, the lower point here, as shown in the question, joins to the center of the opposite eye as a dark line until it reaches the minor axis, and then the other line joins to that same point. So from bottom point to the center of the eye, that line until it touches the minor axis, joining to the same point up here, and that is the eyebrows. Final part of this are just to darken in the actual eyes. So make sure you stop just before the eyebrows so it's not actually going through the eyebrows. Don't darken in that part of it. Left and right. And finally, or for that, then you have two eyes in the middle. They can be just darkened in. Try to keep them as circular as possible. If you have a template for drawing circles, use that. Final part of this now is the hairpiece up on top. So first line, going to take a line out from point B horizontal to it. That'll give me the first line. The next line I'm going to take is a line at 60 degrees, also starting from B, 60 degrees up along this way. And I'm going to draw a horizontal line that's 35 millimeters above B to intersect that line at 60 degrees. So this line and this line, they're B and this line, they're 35 millimeters apart. Drawn a horizontal line to intersect this line coming from B, and that's going to give me the start point for that line coming at 45 degrees. So 45 degrees then from here down until it touches the curve gives me that point there. Now we're almost finished. Again, we need to look really closely at this point. We need our compass to find the length of how far out along this way. So point for a compass onto B, pencil onto the point that we found up here, rotate it down onto the horizontal line, gives us how far out to the left point B, the line from B goes, that's to here. And finally, just to get this piece, where this line at 45 degrees intersects the line from the minor axis is a point that we're going to use to join back to over here. Draw it in lightly. So from here to here, and it extends then for that part of it. So just the outer part of it is darkened in. And that completes the 2017 ordinary level question 2.